Hello and welcome to part 4 of this Building a Website in Progressive Steps. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out part 3, which is Building a Website in Progressive Steps, the home page. We talked about featured areas, actionable content areas, priority content areas, as well as Twitter areas. If you have already checked out part 3, or part 1, part 2, and part 3, welcome to part 4. Here in part 4 we are going to begin talking about web page elements, and that's going to start with the About page, and the rest of the pages will follow along in the other tutorials. But in this tutorial we are going to use the About page. We're going to talk about the importance of titles, the importance of descriptions, differences between putting content on the left hand side or on the right hand side, putting sidebars on the left hand side, right hand side, among many other things. So continue on and watch this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so now that we have our home page completed, and you can see the home page, next thing we want to do is take out the home page, take out the blog and the contact page. And now we're going to create the About page. So let's go ahead and start off by creating our breadcrumb. Our breadcrumb is going to say home and about. All right. You need to take that, put it inside of the About, open that up, double click it, and change the font to Tahoma, make it regular, and then give it 9 points. We'll also go ahead and change the color. So let's change the color to B2AFAF. Okay. Grab the move tool. Let's go ahead and move it up to about there. Let's move it over a little bit. There we go. That should work just fine. Now, next thing we're going to do is create our title. So let's create a new group, and let's call it caps lock. Let's call it title. Grab the text tool again. Let's just change the color so that we can see it better. And the color is going to be 372B14. Okay. And now let's write the title out, and it will be About Us Page Title. That is wrong. Title. Okay. And let's double click it. Change the font to Redana. Let's go ahead and make it bold and give it a font size of 24. Okay. Grab the move tool again, move it over about here, and then let's find the title background here. So that's the title background. Okay, so hold down Control and grab the title background, and then press Align Vertical Centers. And now we can now the title is in the center of the page. Okay, so the next thing will be our intro text to our title. Go ahead and grab your type tool again and write out something like, you could use this space to add some, let's move that over a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. Add some quick text, Shift Enter, important to this page, or leave it blank. Alright, Double click again, and we're just going to stay at Verdana, and we're going to change the font size to 18 points, and we can change the color of the text, and we'll change it to 9B9 68D. Alright, grab your move tool and move it over here up against the ruler, and then select the title again by holding Control and clicking it. Align vertical centers, put that in the center, and that's your title. It's important to have a page title because you want your users obviously to know what page they are on, and also having some introduction text helps people see what they're getting into before they get into it, or maybe a little bit of marketing text to intrigue the users to keep on reading. Alright, go ahead and close the title here, and we're going to create a new group, and this group is going to be called article. Here in the article we're going to create the title, so grab your type tool here and write out something like a little about our humble beginnings. And that's all basically going to stay the same as far as the size of the text. So let's grab our move tool and move it over against the ruler, and we can bring it up just a little bit. So let's go ahead and grab the image that we're going to be placing here. So we'll go to File and Place, and here's my image. I'm going to grab this here, hold down Shift so that your dimensions are about the same here, so the image doesn't end up being distorted. Alright, and let's change it to about 344 by 229. So 343 by 229 should be just fine. So let's move this image down up against the ruler here, create some padding between the title and the image, and let's move it over to the right here. Right click on the image and select blending options, and we're going to create a drop shadow. We're going to give it an opacity of 100, take off global lighting, make the angle 90 degrees. The distance is going to be 0, spread of 0, and the size is going to be 3. Alright? Next thing is we want a stroke. The stroke here is going to be 1 pixel. It's going to stay on the outside. Everything here is going to stay the same. And then we're going to just change the color of the stroke to white. And go ahead and click OK, and you're done. Now go ahead and select your type tool again, and we're going to go look for some lorem ipsum text. So let's just find some lorem ipsum here. That's good. Go ahead and press Control V and copy all that there. Let's double click it. We're going to change this to regular and give it a size of 12. Along with the color, we're going to change it to 464646, and that should be good there. Alright, now let's go ahead and grab our move tool and move it over just a little bit here. We want to make sure it always looks like that we have some padding between our image and our text. Double click the text here, and we're going to do just like we did in part 3 and create some line breaks. So select the part of the text where we're going to create the line break, which is going to be about right here. Hold down Shift and press Enter to create your line break. Alright, and let's just keep doing that until we get down to the end. We're going to get rid of this here. Alright, and now we're going to just create a new line here. Press Control V, and we're going to copy it right in there again. Let's grab our move tool, move it over to about the same place as the other text is. Let's just move it up so we have a good paragraph here. Grab the type tool again, select inside of the text, and let's go ahead and continue with our line breaks. Alright, now what we want to do is select both of the text here, bring them down just a little bit, and then we want to create a line height of 18. Alright, so now we can grab the last, actually that was the wrong one. We can grab the last text here, bring it down, create some spacing here. Alright, and now we can bring it all the way over here, double click the text, and hold down space until you get to where you want it to be. Let's go ahead and move that over a little bit. It's going to be about right there. Do it again. And again. And a few more times. And here we're going to press backspace so that we can get it to fill up the entire page. And then Shift Enter and done. Alright. Bring that down just a little bit, create some even spacing there between the image and the text. Alright. Now go ahead and select both again, and let's change this to crisp. Make it a crisp text. That looks better. Press Control S so that we can save it. Alright, so what's the reason why I put it on the left? Well, because we want
our text to be on the left hand side. When a user is looking, the natural way to read is from left to right, and you want your blog information or your page information to be on the left hand side so that users can recognize it better. And the last thing we're going to do is create a link and put it down at the bottom. So let's do that now. Grab the type tool. Let's go down a little bit here and let's type in, like, see what others have to say. And let's just move it over here a little bit and change the color here. The color of our links are going to be 6DD2FB. Alright. We want to give it an underline and change the font to Tahoma. Our links are going to be Tahoma, and everything else stays the same. So go ahead and close this group here, and we're going to create a new group and call it Sidebar. Let's move that up a little bit, and in our Sidebar group, let's go ahead and create our separator here for the sidebar. We're going to do that by grabbing our line tool. Alright, and starting about here, just underneath the breadcrumb, and hold down shift and draw a straight line to about the end of our link. About like that. Alright, and we're going to make this about 1 pixel. Change the effects. Go ahead and right click on it, blending options, and let's give it an inner glow. The inner glow is going to have an opacity of 100 with a size of 1, and that'll be it for that. It's okay. That looks a little thin, so let's see what happens if we change that with a weight of 2. Okay, that actually looks just a little bit better. Alright, so let's grab the shape and let's just use our left arrow key to move it over a little bit. Grab your move tool to make sure that you're in a mode where you can move it, and we'll move it over to about right there. A little over, just a little bit more. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead now and create the title for the sidebar here. So grab your text tool and write out sidebar. Alright. Double click on it and we're going to change the font size to 14. And that should be it. Go ahead and grab your move tool and line it up with the title of the article. Just like so. And let's go ahead and take off the underline. Alright, so let's go ahead and select our separator here. Grab your move tool, hold down Alt, click and drag to copy it. Press Ctrl T for transform. Hold down shift and let's rotate it to about there. Alright, and then let's just go ahead and change the width for it. To about there, and that should be good. Alright, let's go ahead and create a new separator. Hold down shift and draw it out to about there, and let's add some effects. The inner glow is going to stay the same. Now we have a nice separator here. Let's move it up just a little bit. Alright, now just like our the link that we put down here, see what others have to say. We're going to create another link, so grab your type tool and write out home. Alright, and let's give that an underline, and let's change the color here. That color is going to be 6DD2FB. And then we'll change the font size to 12. Let's grab the move tool here and let's move it down and over just a little bit in line with the rest of it. We want to make it even space between the separator and each text. Alright, next thing we're going to do is copy our separator here. So hold down Alt and click and drag and copy the separator. Move it up and over, just like that. Now hold down Control and select Home, your link. Hold down Alt, click and drag 1, 2, 3 times. Alright? Go ahead and grab Home Copy 2. Let's go ahead and select all of these so that we can move them up just a little bit like that. And let's grab the last one so that we can move it up. Try to organize these a little bit better. Alright, just like that. Good deal. Alright, now we're going to change the text of each one here. The first one here is going to be about. The next one is going to be contact. And then the last one is going to be blog. Okay, now that we have that together, the last thing we're going to create is our search box. Alright, so go ahead and grab your rectangle tool and draw out a rectangle that is about 185 by 18. And that should be good right there. And we're going to change the color because we want it to be transparent, so we're going to change it to white. And the effects, take out the inner glow, grab your effects and create a stroke. And this stroke is going to be 1 outside, and everything here is going to remain the same, except for we will change the color to E0 DDE0. That's okay. And when you're done, and go ahead and exit out of the blending options. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and we'll just create the text for search inside of the search box. So let's go ahead and type search. Alright, double click it and change the font size to 10. And then go ahead and change the color to light gray, CCC, and that's it for that. And then get rid of the underline. Grab your move tool and move the search inside of the box just like so. Alright,
The next thing we want is to grab a magnifying glass. So let's look through our graphics here and see if we can find a magnifying glass here somewhere. And there's a magnifying glass. Okay. And we'll just hold down Shift and create a magnifying glass about that big. Alright. Let's take off the stroke for the magnifying glass, and that's good. Alright. Okay, so the importance of the About page here is so that we want to establish some credibility, obviously, with the users that will be coming to our website. So in order to establish some credibility, we can offer an About page where users can go and learn a little bit more about the company. Without that credibility, your website becomes sort of skeptical. So make sure to always add an About page to all of your web pages, or to all of your websites in general, I should say, and don't forget to do that. It's very important. Okay, go ahead and close that and close the About here. Okay, let's review and go over some of the reasons behind what we have going on here. At the top of our first page, the About Us page, we've created a title area placed on top of a background that blends nicely with the rest of our design, while maintaining a sharp appeal. There are many benefits to adding a title to each of your pages. I'll name two. First of all, without a title, search engine spiders would have no idea what to call your page or even what the main keywords are that it should look for. Search engine optimization is of the utmost importance for any website, and it all starts with the title. Secondly, the people visiting your website would like to know what they are reading about, even if it just says something like contact. At least you've put that in front of them in case they forgot where they are on the site. Users find it very frustrating when they're on a page that doesn't have a clear title they can refer to. Be kind to your viewers and give them a short, clear, and easy to understand title. So now you know what the title is for. Well, what about the text to the right of it? I mean, really, it's not something you see every day. Well, the benefit of the intro text is to give a summary of the page, just like if you were about to buy a book. Many times when buying a book, you may flip it over to read the summary, and it's usually designed to intrigue you enough to buy. Well, the same principle applies to the intro text. Give out a marketing intro or put in the first sentence of a blog post. There are many things you can do with it to intrigue your user to take further action. The intro text is also great for SEO, as it can be used as a description or even added text to the title, although that's not recommended. It just gives spiders more specific keywords to look for, so it knows exactly where to put your page, and you can end up in the top of the rankings. Okay, so let's move on to breadcrumbs. What are breadcrumbs? Well, breadcrumbs are essentially navigation aids used in user interfaces. Interestingly, the term comes from a trail of breadcrumbs left by Hansel and Gretel. Anyway, they also act as sort of a sitemap and can be read by search engine spiders, so you could, in essence, gear your breadcrumbs using targeted keywords. However, you should never put SEO ahead of usability, so I wouldn't recommend making a habit of it. So, since users come into your website from every way imaginable instead of just the front door like a house, it's a good idea to put breadcrumbs in front of your visitors to follow and lead them through your website, either strategically or not. Either way, it's a good habit to get into. Moving along, you can see that we've put the article on the left side of the page with the text wrapped around an image. You might ask, why do this when you can just put the image on top of the text? Well, it's quite simple, really. First of all, most people naturally read left to right, and when scanning, a person usually looks left anyway. And remembering that content is king, I put it on the left. I also do this because I want my users to immediately associate the image with the text. Users are even more likely to refer back to the image if it's wrapped than if it's not, because they don't have to scroll. But why is that important? For the same reason, images are more associative to memory than text. A user is more likely to remember the website from a picture they saw than what they read. But if you wrap the image and allow the user to associate it with the article, which is also done through peripheral vision, then the user has a better chance of referring back to my website if another website is offering them similar information. For me, the image wrap method is more psychological than anything else. I believe that if you understand psychology, then you can understand usability, especially targeted usability, which is a very well-planned layout designed to increase conversion rates. Although that's far more advanced than this tutorial, but I will be happy to do a tutorial on that if anyone is interested, so just let me know. Alright, you understand the title, intro text, and image wrapping methods used here, so why the sidebar? Doesn't it just get in the way? Well, of course not. Sidebars are needed for usability. It makes it easy for users to navigate through each page. Okay, so why put it on the right instead of the left? Well, we'll get a chance to go through each method, and for this page it's on the right because, again, content is king. And it also provides a more personal approach. Since most people will scan starting from the left, they are first given content to please their appetite for whatever it is they are looking for that brought them to the page in the first place. Nothing is more annoying than looking for information, and once you get there, the first thing put in your face is a way to get out. Well, if I wanted to get out, I wouldn't have come in the first place. Users are much happier to be presented with content first, read it, then explore the option of going somewhere else on the site. Left sidebars also have their advantages too, and we'll talk about them in the next tutorial. So in conclusion, it's always a good idea to have a search somewhere on your sidebar, as we do here, especially if you run a blog or e-commerce site. Okay, well, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and stay tuned for part 5, which is coming soon. Bye for now.